You are watching Liberty Online TV.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange. This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the midweek edition of the Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV. With a stream na Facebook, YouTube, and also on our website, where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring the program come to you this Wednesday morning. Mina Khadija Bangura.
And Mina Kabba say good morning and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Liberty Breakfast Show, where they come to you Monday to Friday on Liberty Online Television. The Breakfast Show, they cover different issues and we get to do with public interest. And today, at this edition of the Liberty Breakfast Show, where they can get updates from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, also where they can look at Salon bilateral relationship with other countries, then what's going to happen. We did discuss all of that this morning at this edition of the Breakfast Show.
Well, remember, say yourself for the watch with this morning. At some point, we'll get the opportunity for add your voice to the program. Send me your message or any clarification we need what issues that we can discuss inside the program this morning. The number now 074 200 545. Send your text message to that number there, or you can as well send your message through the comment section at any of the platform them where you watch with this morning. Remember, say yourself for the watch, share the program so that more people will join the conversation. The program na the Breakfast Show, and they come to you live from Liberty Online TV. As on hearing from Mabel this morning, we can talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs when Alhaji Musa Timothy Kabba. We can give updates about the different bilateral agreements them we Salon gets with other countries them. And as we all know, AM President Bill just come out na the African Union Summit na Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. And self before even go there, even go na Guinea for go get conversation with the Guinean authority them for sake of the first term. Salon ambassador to Guinea, where they be alleged say be they under house arrest na Guinea. Well, all of their updates and they waiting at the conversation will been come out from the negotiation the way it go all, and waiting at the joint investigation where the two countries then they do on the first term ambassador to Guinea, when ambassador Almami Bangura. All of that you go know inside the program. In case you get question for the Minister of Foreign Affairs, now for drop in the comment section at some point in the program, we go read on our messages them and it go answer to all of them question then dey.
All right, we dey continue with the breakfast show and we dey go quickly na the western area rural districts around the peninsula. Also, you go find the number 2 river where plenty people can go na this part of the country for go enjoy themselves. But plenty concern be don dey comot from people, especially people wey can come as tourists dem and self community people wey don dey raise concern say the road where they lead to the number 2 river dey in bad condition, and according to them people here, because the number 2 river na one of the tourist attraction dem wey Salon get, dem believe say authorities dem for don make this road. Well, for let we know wetin na the current situation at this particular road, we reporter Mozetta Moningo Masako Bingo Wakade and na this sibling camp.
The number 2 beach wey dey na the western rural area, Peninsula Road, na site where plenty people can go enjoy and relax. But this beach gets road problem wey na concern to the people dem wey tap na this community.
The constraints wey we undergo one are the dust. We dey see Yana community place, you dey see houses and they nearby the road. This dust dey affects a lot, and dust they cause this like cough and cold issues them. So then a lot constraint we really would undergo. And also people will grumble about the road.
The road network now we get same problem again for a long time. Like me, I don't deny now. I don't deny for 21 years now. So they get same trouble. They in here out, they get problem. The people accept where they can at the beach, and they cost costly. They see the money we get an eye. They don't enough for make the road.
Well, the road have been affecting for more long away, but we have started the road. But soon as council have even near us, just coming against us, the road have blocked. But council have to particular to make the road to come down. It's about 600 meters, 400 meters away from here. It can be made, any size has been made.
As you don't hear the concern wey don comot from them people them here, but the road challenge make them they call authorities them wey concerned for come help make the road.
Well, complaint not there yet because this is our responsibility as a community. A responsibility for manage the road. But as we all know, for me road not to easy thing. But with the help of government, as we do with council, hopefully we hope that the road will be okay.
Well, we don't reach them anyway. We don't go to tourism. They said the tourists don't call it to meet you. We don't go meet them. They said we don't can different people them. Big people in don't can like I say, no minister know in this country when retire. They know concern. We get some minister them. We get some lawyers them. They come. They see. They know what the problem with in now.
Noah Edward Bob Top na stoneholder na the community talk about the money where people can pay for access the beach.
First of all, some of them when they come they explain to you, so they go different areas them who they get. One we see they then pull there we see to line a good there. Now we say not to EDSA, not to governments. Now one NGO in collaboration with we self them we own efforts. We also put together. Now we put all them pool there. We fix them. We buy generator. We na 230 million euros. We put there. We will get a street light. But from where them people are then come, so they say can't take over this process. Even the generator from where it get problem, we break down. They know before repair them, and so the place can dark and net even.
Now this make Liberty Online TV reach out to the chief administrator na council for making response to them concern here, but not be able to get them. For Liberty Online TV, Mozetta Monigo Massacoil, the reports.
All right, you still dey watch the Liberty Breakfast Show wey dey come to you live from Liberty Online TV, and we dey stream na Facebook, YouTube, and also na our website where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. And this morning at the program, we get different issues them where we bring Cantona. So continue for share the program and also make sure say if you get any question or comment on any of the story them more playing at the program this morning, send it at the comment section or you can text me at the orange number +232 74200 545. We'll read on a message them later on inside the program.
All right, so we continue with the breakfast show, and from the number 2 just watch, let me just look at other issue now. Outside the Reporters Union, this BNTM, together with the Institute for Development, we go give sabi to journalists them on how them for they do proper research, way then they do their work. Well, we watch as Maria to Sheriff, now one of the journalists them, we be the part of this, and it will now report.
The Sierra Leone Reporters Union, together with the Institute for Development, Monday, February 24, go all one-day training with journalists them on research and data on how journalists them for they able for do proper research for do them report them. You know, Esther Kabia, now the president for the Sierra Leone Reporters Union, he explained about the importance of this training.
We Sierra Leone Reporters Union, in partnership with Institute for Development, we can hold training, one-day training for reporters them. The training we can all focus on research and data. So this training is very important to we as reporters then, because if you watch all the reports we story, the reporters okay just report the news no more, how the news stand, so the reporter them can just report the news. But today we carry out on plenty thing on waiting till for do it research, data collection, how for blend this together for bring down reports them, then training on different things. This now be one of the manifesto promise them what we make to reporters them say as I win them vote for me as the president, I will make sure say we do training on specific area them. Data reporting of one challenge. You see reporters there, we all get that problem. We can just report them, but we don't can learn here, so we don't learn the different thing them. We learn about audio diary, quantitative and qualitative in research reporting. Then plenty tell don't can learn. So I hope say we the reporter will put into good use. It will begin for use different reports them where we do.
But why make them decide for all this training for journalists them? Dr. John Almami Kabba, now the research project manager for Institute for Development, he explained.
So like we look at and say, if we develop journalists and competence in research, then we will go out and generate good evidence which we will share with the public, and you will like explain that day in a better way like the public will able to understand and you will respond accordingly. And once somebody make a mistake with data and all of that and present it to the public, and the public read and they from a credible institution, it creates a lot of problems. So to avoid all that, it's always necessary to get the competence we need for able to generate credible evidence where like the public not going to be misinformed. So that's make we decide say, now we offer journalists in this country the opportunity for make like they learn some amount of research and how for like generate data where like to serve as a way of able to provide and present credible information to the listeners the way they listen to the different media outlets.
But within the Sierra Leone Reporters Union and the Institute for Development, they expect from journalists them after this training.
Make journalists and develop the competency and the curiosity for go and verify. Not just okay, somebody say, oh, HIV they spread now in this country, oh, and you not get any credible source for like verify that, and they just say, oh yes, you present on a radio station. What we want now that when somebody talk that kind of talk, they go back and look at the data, look at the reports the way they come on a credible institution, the Ministry of Health, the WHO, the DHS data we explored so much today. Go PubMed, look at the data that is available and make conclusions then we based on evidence, not so just hearsay. Yeah. So Nadando wants to make like journalists and get that curiosity there. For able to go curiosity and get the competence, for able to go and able to generate that kind of evidence and share with the general public instead of just sharing word by hearsay.
I've been talked to some journalists them, but what's in this training mean to them, and at this them be gets for say.
So today I opportunity for the part of the training where IFA organized for journalists then on how for use research for get more accurate information so that we reporting them could be more credible. So that I don't learn a lot. We learn different things the way most they will not don't they do. we learn about research, how important to make you as journalists, for make sure say you use different tools for do your research if you want for add credibility, and if you want for give you story that kind of face where somebody will listen and talk say wow this story is very credible. To ensure different sites are okay before source credible information. We look at the different types of research, talking about qualitative, quantitative research.
The training will be very much helpful, and of course it will be really beneficial to me. Because as media people we can feel say most times it's about what you go find out from the field, and we just take verbatim and report like that. So sometimes we not can do extensive work by we going forget other sources for add to the color of the story. And one unique thing and the way Institute for Development don't do that today for make we know say the reporting just it go beyond waiting somebody just say a particular source say. You can as well do waiting part of the training where we do we therefore do it within called desk review or literature review. If for example you have to publish a story where you therefore do it maternal health for example, you interest you for one for no say as a journalist, maybe some other person don't do a particular story like that. And how you say can source that particular research work and add on to his story, we can get the story more accurate and data.
Journalists here end up say then go use the knowledge where they don't go get from this training for improve on their reporting skills them. For Liberty Online TV, me na Mariatu Sheriff.
Today we dey go now na Parliament. Usai Parliament don't agree for approve the concession agreement for make 86-kilometer road from Mabang to Moyamba Bambatok Road. As this road then believe say go help for bring development in that part of the country. Well, with parliamentary reporter when Al Hassan Kroma gets more and he go now report.
This BNTM, the Parliament of Salone don't ratify the concession agreement for the construction of the Mabang to Moyamba Bambatoke Road project. Members of Parliament them will debate and appreciate the agreement. This will create connection for people movement across the country. The Minister of Works and Public Assets, Dr. Dennis Sandi, will be present the agreement before the House. He said this will help the country achieve improvements in terms of road development.
This country and all those facilities that Honorable Umupai indicated have been explained by Honorable Bash, Seliki, and Honorable Givao. So going forward, for me it's a pleasure to continue working for the people of this country, and on behalf of His Excellency our President, I'd like to thank you very much for members of Parliament, and then for the oversight, let me reiterate that, for the oversight, Mr. Speaker, may I move with all respect that this is not something that's going to be limited to the oversight committee of this Parliament. But every member of Parliament here, when you have time, my office is open, SLRU is open, you come to us, we give you all the information available, and then we're going to work together. Even in terms of providing logistics, I will talk to the SLRU so that you guys, you ladies, you beautiful ladies, you handsome guys, and you beautiful ladies will be comfortable as best as possible. The issue, what I'm saying is because the SLRU has the budget called operations. I've instructed the Director General that all members of Parliament.
As Parliament been appreciates the agreement and give praises to the Minister of Works and Public Assets for way he presents the agreement before the House for development, Dr. Sandi been get this for see.
It's been resolved that this honorable House hereby ratifies the foreign agreement which was laid on the table of the House on Friday, 20 September 2024. Concessional agreement for the construction of the Mabang Moyambang Bambatoka Road, 86 kilometers between the government, represented by the Ministry of Works and Public Assets, and Society International, the equipment, air travel, etc., December 2024.
As all this they be, the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Singapore Solomon Thomas, don't give a strong directive to all parliamentary committee chairmen for immediately start their oversight work.
Chairmen and their deputies to go to work immediately. Go to work immediately. All committees go to work immediately. And of course, I urge committees to do the necessary concepts, do your concepts for oversight. The moment we get any disbursement, I will ensure that committees go on oversight. So I urge you all to do your concept. When you do your concept, send your concept to your leaders. Send your concept to your leaders for vetting and approval. Send your concepts to your leaders for vetting and approval before we do any payment for oversight activities. Thank you very much. At this stage, leader.
The speaker end up say the importance of the committees now for ensure say accountability then are all ministry departments and agencies, and this will help for make the country get effective governance system, as parliaments get the role for monitor government activity and for all public institutions to account. For Liberty Online TV, Al-Hassan Koma, the report.
Right, welcome back. You still watching the breakfast show on Liberty Online Television, and from that report, the way Al Hassan Kurma put together from Parliament, we can deal with one other issue quickly. Aside this BNTM, if people can remember, the executive director for Forum of Sierra Leone Youth Network, when Thomas Babadi and other people, the police may hold them and detain them for 10 days for SECA. One invitation where the police, then we don't ask the police, say they want to go na the ECSL for letting go remind the ECSL, but then work with them supposed for them, especially the outcome of the 2023 elections. Where that particular protest they wouldn't go for doing at the ECSL office, the police not been agree, and then we end up for detaining people here for 10 days. Well, after we police we don't left them early this week, we see this organization don't pull a public release usai they make mention and talk about them dissatisfaction by the way how police treat them. Well, according to them, then say the act for let police hold them, go against them, write them, and serve them say na illegal action. The police been take against them for hold them for 10 days na detention. Well, for let we know how they reach to this conclusion, we get on the line now the executive director for the Forum for Sierra Leone Youth Network, where na Thomas Babadi, when na one pan the people in we been the detention because of that protest they wouldn't be one for do. Good morning and welcome to the Liberty TV.
Yeah, good morning, Madam Princess. Good morning, everyone.
I just don't tell the viewers them we see una release we una just don't pull. They indicate say the Sierra Leone police been go against una rights after where them be all you and other people them na detention for 10 days for SECA the protest when I be one for do na the ECSL office. Firstly, just tell we when the Sierra Leone police been left una.
Well, the Sierra Leone police left we 10 days after. And then the second thing was that we asked to go in there for reports. We report the book we 1 day, 2 days. The third day, they re-arrest we again. Re-arrest we to take we phones them, not allow we any lawyer, not allow we any conjugal visit or what have you. The only they say they get further evidence, see, we commit what they call forgery. Now we submitted forged documents to the state, i.e. the IG of police. So they go only for another 24 hours. Now, so when Mino will take further investigation on this matter without the customer lawyer and everything I tell you now. What tell you now? The first one weekends on the 3rd of December. Everything we talk was done under duress. And it is not applicable in law, cannot be accepted anywhere. So we're going to redo everything back because you cannot arrest me and don't allow me access to my lawyer, neither my medical doctor. You know, so that be happen. The only detain we, give you stiff bail condition. After that, the see logo report with the head of Shady. When there are 2 days, the 3rd day we are arrested again. Unfortunate.
Mr. Baba, the issue of the police saying una tender false evidence to them, false document to them. Una be request for let the police show na the evidence there so where then they call say na false document.
I mean, the police now up to the task. That's the first thing. Secondly, they're not magnanimous enough. They're not economical with the truth. These are the challenges. They don't get the right kind of people to handle such things with the clumsy. They get evidence against me. What they did was to take our fingerprints, 2 of us, on a Sunday morning, unable to go to church, took our fingerprints. Later, they take us go to one room. We go there, they put me through selective entrance, NPSC class 6 exams. That is spelling and dictation. They dictated, we wrote in 4 pages. We signed on 6 A4. That is 6 times. Why identify me? Now we produce, generate, document them, we sign, we thumbprint, numbers in there. They don't see any trace of any evidence. They don't see any
Mr.
trace.
Babadi, you dey say the statements wey una be make na police wey dem hold una not come from una na the police been dictate wetin una right? Na that you dey say?
I mean, you cannot arrest me and you expect me to be investigated in a police wherever without giving cause to my lawyer. We are not allowed lawyer. In fact, what you make them do that they say we committed state crime and a state case. So who said my friends were afraid to go and find me? They went there severally. They said, no, this man gets state case. So now be careful of the council. Oh, yes. So, wait for the state crime. We are state criminals for requesting the police to give us clearance. To peacefully assemble for civil and political rights.
Mr. Babadi, the term where una be there under detention na the criminal investigation department. We've been talk to the deputy head of media for the Salon Police, where it be explained inside that interview but the crime them where una commit. One pan them is say una falsify people's signature them because the signatory them will be then at the petition una sent to them, then call them people, then they some man denying say you're not even aware of any protest, and even the office address una put say na dey una day, then check day not to dey una office day. How true the allegation they are from the police be?
To clarify the issue very, very well, I'll go walk around. I'll go at 37 minutes. If the police want to meet me, let them candy. So now Main Street, they go. They meet me there. I was okay. They went with me. Sorry. With a huge number of security guards, armed guards, to be specific. They go there, and then of course, do what you need to do. As per they say by law. They did the search warrant in the office, left the office. 2 days after they came to my house, I'm traveling. They did a search warrant, scattered the place all over. And the beg said, please, there on a packing festival because I spend more money on my books and clothes. They scatter my books, then scatter everything but me. I was embarrassed. So they put a caveat and say, we are state criminals. And that kind of thing they therefore do. But they don't achieve them at all. Secondly, now we come now to the issue of document. They were saying they're not going to can't defend themselves. That was why me personally, dropped a letter for the police and the holders, inviting them to a proposed press conference last Friday. I invited them to please come. Let's go chat before the media and the civil society and the lawyers. I told really we are, making ourselves also, we are making ourselves compliant to Salonians.
Mr. Babadi,
the police refuse to come. They refuse to be in attendance because they will be asked some questions. And the press release was never confrontational. We only look at the human rights aspect of what happened to we and the others. For example, Thomas Dixon. For example, Joseph Touré, Public Review newspaper. For example, Lissemem, even our homes, we quoted him. Look at what happened to this lady Gail Masala. Somebody say, these are all threats to our democracy, not only freedom of speech or freedom of expression of the press or what have you. It's about democratic decency.
Let you the same, Mr. Babadi. This una press release.
Let me say now, the threshold for arrest is high claim. 1 day is enough. You need to fight risk. Why you go incarcerate me? 3 days, yes, that's the minimum threshold. But you hold me for 10 days. You say I commit forgery. I forged document them. We are tender. When the document they were forged, bring the document before we. They also found out when we know they come. Say, look at the documents. Look at our thumbprints. Look at our fingerprint. Look at our signatures.
So, Mr. Babadi, in this,
let's put synonymous or similar to what you talk about so now. Nothing. Nothing, not similar, not synonymous. In fact, the old man who made it together, he was a great more than me because he see me younger. In 75, 76, a common household, 1957, to England, when they can go, either from one to in the boarding home, go Cambridge University for 4 years. So I sit with this king of England right now. They go to the University of Sussex, which I meet with him. Samuel Becky them. He was the minister of ideology. So end of forged document. Why you can accuse person now say?
According to the press statement when you sign, una indicate say, una no say the Ceylon police waiting and do na illegal action, being that according to you, then go against una human rights and freedom of speech and association. This particular statement where they come from una, are you challenging the police? Say na illegal acts them do where they arrest una, detain una for 10 days for that particular letter una been write say una want for go na ECSL office, on which grounds una they challenge them?
It's very clear. Before we send the letter, we show the lawyers, 2 lawyers, high standing, very hardworking lawyers, studious guys. One are James Boka ICC, one are the lead person in this. The Boka ICC, we meet all the thresholds within the 1991 Constitution. So you cannot come and tell me now, say, I go against the Constitution. Who are you, police? We don't sabi the law. People that law, they practice law. Kind of legal advice for that matter. Hard-working gentleman, studied in England, practice in England. Now, back in Freetown, for practice. He's a very nice guy. I admire him so much. I'm professional. So, let me just say this again. The police, for stop, they can tear so, or else they continue for dread, would be a potential investors. Secondly, they continue for whitewash with democracy we don't build from 1996. It's so unfortunate. And the police continue to behave in this manner. It's very, very, very wrong.
Mr. Abadi, the reason we make police be invite una and detain una for 10 days now because una say una want for go protest in front of the ECSL office and request for the disaggregated data for the June 24th, 2023 elections. Una
Yeah.
still believe in that cause, una still get plan
Of course.
for go na the ECSL office if even the police not give una the clearance?
No, if you can't do that. Me not law by the decision. I'm looking for God calling to lay down the decisions or law. I cannot buy that without equals to the police giving us. I mean, okay, fine, that's good. We will support you now. We will go now. But by this 64 Criminal Procedure Act, the part 3 of 1965 for the Act is very, very clear that even when you make school Thanksgiving, you should abide by those protocols that are laid down in the 65 Public Order Act. You don't occupy the entire street. You don't occupy both sides. No, you take one lane, not two lane, not 64 lane. If you take 2 lane, and you get your marshals, then they are around you. We have trained marshals. The police have already trained their marshals. They have it all over the place. They know what is crowd control. They know everything. They are professional in the field. So you don't request for them to help you, let them aid you. Why should you go ahead with your business? Now, if I go now and go and do that, I mean, all over, I mean, with all your service in civil society in the last 16, 17 years, why you go do this kind of thing without cost to the police? So the police, I tell you now one thing. This thing make it kind of say the information of police when they talk to the IG of police 2 consecutive weeks. They go to the Minister of Information and Civil Education. Now the conference hall on high court press briefing, weekly press briefing, that's it. They assure the public. Hello?
Yeah, we get you.
The Minister of the IG of police, they assure the public in front of the Minister of Information and Civil Education, saying if any citizen thinks say in let's say for come out and protest on any issue, that particular person, once that crowd will come, once they get a leader will sign their text, they will give clearance for that. It is documented, journalist knows, it is on video, it is on radio, it is documented.
So your intention and before test waiting the IG states?
Thank you very much. The IG can continuously and continually, in fact, even in the weekly press briefing, please, where we used to go 5, 6 years ago, you know, people are get 80 at the police at the time. Then, IG Kalia, you know, Brahmajan, these are guys were really smart. Up to now, when you see the now, you see the PRO too or the media too, no one was able to talk better English. That's the problem. It's a very serious problem. So, you know what? We came out on that pretext for field test within the IG of police on say.
So
not only that, we knew very well that the law is very clear on these issues. 2, 3, we knew very well the constitution says the gronom give it the latitude. Lawyers like Adi Macaulay and others, they've also given us legal advice on television, AIV. We've listened to them carefully, analyzing and interpreting the law. And only for Gona, London, Indiana, Harvard Law School. We understand what the law say about possession, protest, peaceful assembly.
By all indication, Mr. Babadi, by all indication at this stage, a clear say the police not get for grief for Leona do this protest na the ECSL office. Waiting next for sake of the intention.
We're in conversation with the lawyers. We get for going to Supreme Court for interpretation. Then I just one of the outcome of the press conference. We journalists the advice. We are going to Supreme Court for interpretation of what the deed was. If we are wrong, let the court tell us. And we are not supposed to report it for clearance from the police for do a peaceful assembly on XYZ. 1, 2. They will support the police IG through the law officers department. They will support the IG of police. But whosoever, they can stand before we and tell we and the lawyers and say, yes, we stop them because first of all, let me tell you now, they say we commit subversion. disturbing the state during the festive. 4 crimes. Those crimes, after 4 days, 5 days, they were dropped. And the 5th day, the head of CID now come to me at night and start telling me that those charges, yes, but don't get fresh charge. But they press on with for Bona court. That's it. Thank you very much, sir. I hope you do so immediately, Monday morning. Your courts are open on Monday morning. Today is Sunday. And that we committed forgery. What do you forge? I don't go primary school, I don't go secondary school, I don't go university. I don't forge. I don't travel go overseas. I don't forge the visa. I don't go several past 25 times.
All right.
I don't ever forge visa. You never arrest me. You never say you don't commit. Never in your lifetime. Look at my age now. Why I forgo forge documents and send them to the police or whosoever? It's undone. You don't go to NPSC, O level, A level, university experience. You don't go at post university.
All right.
I don't forge it. But now they can't forge me the document. It's unfortunate. I'm going to work. Let the police come and see if that office is not my office. I'm able.
All right. Many thanks.
I think so. Yes, my Lord. See this again. The police should read the press release. They should read the press release and make sense out of it. It's a good English for them. Secondly, the sense is too much. We are talking about the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Number 1, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. 2, 3, we are talking about the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. There are a lot of articles there that gives right people on religion, right to life, right to so many rights are embedded in those documents. Let them look at it. Don't be proud. You can learn from that. Don't be proud, Mr. Police. That's what I expect you to come. So we share experience and expertise. The UDHR, now a documented establishment for it. So it is be up to date.
Okay, Mr. Babadi, many thanks for that update there where you give me this morning at the program, the breakfast show on Liberty Online TV. That's been Thomas Babadi, the Executive Director for Forum of Sierra Leonean Youth Network, as we talk about recent public notice where they put to the public through the press. As there is concern, say they believe say the 10 days detention where the Medina police take illegal action against the human and civic rights them. Well, we go follow up this matter as we say then we'll get for going to the Supreme Court for interpretation based on the request to them be made to police for do a protest at the ECSL office. Also, them be the wish for go ask the ECSL for pull the disaggregated figures them will come out from the 2023 general elections.
All right, so they continue the breakfast show. We they watch live na Liberty Online Television, and earlier I'll tell una say we they can talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. We na Alhaji Musa Timothy Kabba. We don't join we now na the studio. Good morning, Mr. Minister.
Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, Sierra Leone.
All right, that's now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Alhaji Musa Timothy Kabba. And as you all know, if not only follow lately, una go no say the Minister of Foreign Affairs just come out with President Bill usai they attend the AU summit na Ethiopia Addis Ababa, and from there it go na Qatar usai it open the new Salon embassy. But before that, we don't they see usai pictures be there all over the social media, and self the Minister of Information when the official government spokesman say the Minister of Foreign Affairs been travel gonna Guinea with delegation for go get negotiation with the Guinean authority them for Sika the first time Salon ambassador to Guinea. Where rumor be the fly say it be they under detention at Guinea. The Minister of Foreign Affairs been go there and it been spent about 9 days usai a whole negotiation there with the Guinean authority them. Then later again the Minister of Information come out and tell the public say the Minister of Foreign Affairs not able to get negotiation with the Guinean authority. They don't release to the first ambassador of Salon to Guinea. It don't count and back that Salon. And the two countries they now they do joint investigation. So all of that you go know what exactly what be negotiation there with the foreign minister, the old Guinea, and self you go update the public about the summit where it just come on at Ethiopia Addis Ababa. But quickly, before they can go into all of the work they do it, come on, Mr. Minister, you don't then at the foreign ministry for quite some time now. And you now be one minister during the term where President BOB appoints you. Not to secret, say, a lot of issues that be there internationally because of the 2023 elections. People be they contest the transparency of the elections, maybe make some international organization then get issues with President Bill in government. You be there in the center of all the negotiation there. How you be able for navigate through all of the international negotiation there for make the international body that you restore them confidence back for with President Bill in government?
Well, thank you very much, Khadija. And you know, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we mandate now Section 10 of the Salon Constitution now establishing, and the President of the Republic being the chief diplomat of the country. And as Minister of Foreign Affairs, you're more or less representing the country and the President in multilateral institutions, and also an envoy of the President for established in cases where we not get diplomatic relations, and where we do have existing diplomatic relations for strengthen and expand the scope of those relations. And yes, of course, after 2023 elections, there were some people who have been dissatisfied, and some international partners had questions to ask. And but like I said, with the directives and the vision of His Excellency the President, we engage, and in engaging, we're able to make with partners that understand, say, Sierra Leone is a democratic state, and we don't move from a war context to a rather developing democracy. And so democracy itself not to event, not a process, and it's a work in the meal, and every day would improve. And of course, we were able to explain to we partners, and we all get an understanding of how we for work together for promote democracy, transparency, and accountability in electoral processes. But it's also worthy for note to say the elections are not entirely the marker of democracy. They are, of course, part of democracy, and we see what the president do after the elections. There was this national discussion with the opposition and all of that, which culminated into tripartite, and the partners then participate, and it became a very inclusive process. And so, of course, confidence is built. The chief diplomat is by nature an internationalist, somebody who pride himself in promoting and protecting the interests of the country outside of the country. So the job has not been easy, but with his directives, his vision, we've been able to navigate through. For example, since 2023, we don't get embassies, we don't establish them presence in Salon. We have done open embassies in other countries where they should say the acceptability of a country, the willingness of other nations for work with Sierra Leone is very apparent since after obviously before I came in, and now that I'm Minister of Foreign Affairs. So it's been a very exciting 1.5 years of being Minister of Foreign Affairs, as working with the Chief Diplomat, His Excellency the President, on behalf of the people of this country for promote the country overseas.
This work being exciting from coming from you.
Mm.
And we all know, say, when President Bill been coming 2018 to now, one thing we really don't focus on na for go position Salon
Mhm.
na the international world.
Mm.
How you would describe Sierra Leone's current reputation and image to the international world currently?
Very high. Sierra Leone has a very high reputation in the international uh, arena today, and this is because of the president in determination for promote a country. We live in a world where no country is an island, and so for let you get your recognition, for let you get your strength, for let you guarantee and sustain your sovereignty, you must play key role in international space. In fact, this is why after 53 years, President Bio tried for Maple Security Council, the United Nations, one of the premium body where they determine the maintenance of global peace and security. And also last year, February of last year, at the African Union at continental level, and we get overwhelmingly vote in Sierra Leone into the African Union Peace and Security Council. we make Salon they play both the global role in maintenance of global peace and security and also continental role in the architecture we're responsible for peace and security in Africa. So all of these things what they do, and also the effect of what we're doing in multilateral institutions, and don't give opportunity to many Sierra Leoneans for get outstanding jobs and representations in international organizations such as the ICC, IS, International Law Reform Commission, and all of these places. Many Sierra Leoneans, and this actually not the mandate of with foreign policy dispensation, where the president the direct for promote the interest of Sierra Leone overseas and ensure that there is peace and stability in sub-region and our contribution to that. In the UN, for example, Sierra Leone has been known as the voice of reason and a principled country where they vote on decisions based on basic values, principles, and international law and the UN Charter.
All right, continue for the way at the studio, Mr. Minister. We will come back to you shortly. In name na Alhaji Musa Timothy Kabba, in the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. There this morning, they can give you updates, but different work at them where it just come or do. And waiting at some of the negotiation, them where it get with the Guinean authority, them we make the release to them, the first time Salon ambassador to Guinea.
All right, you still the watch the breakfast show na Liberty Online TV. We quickly they take short message from we sponsors and we'll be right back.
We're trendy and youthful. We're UBA. We are here to make your life better, stress-free and easy. We go the extra mile. We're trendy and youthful. We're UBA. We are here to make your life better, stress-free and easy. We go the extra mile. We're trendy and youthful. We're UBA. We are here to make your life better, stress-free and easy. We go the extra mile. We're trendy and youthful. We're UBA. We are here to make your life better, stress-free and easy. We go the extra mile. We're trendy.
All right, we continue the breakfast show. I will come back to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, with Alhaji Musa Timothy Kabba, where they with we at the studio. Mr. Minister, earlier you just don't tell them some of the things them will be able for do for ensure say with all of the elections scandal will be day on President Bio in government unable for restore back donor confidence. And one of the things them we don't be trending topic lately now they all get for do with the cocaine scandal on Sierra Leone. And you boss we see now the chief diplomat during in term way he take up office. One of the popular phrase we Sierra Leone and they know for him when them they put under pressure say it dey travel a lot. He say it dey go rebrand the image of Sierra Leone. We mean say where it come, it not meet the image of the country na a pleasing mode. So it dey try for go rebrand. And as it is now, we all know how the international media don't they report about Salon, about harboring a Dutch fugitive, we Guinea embassy utility vehicle allegedly they catch some huge amounts of substance there. You sitting as the foreign minister in all of them scandal there, how you work talent presently?
Well, it's a normal thing. I mean, in every role, there are challenges and also opportunities. Well, I mean, let me speak to the incident that occurred in Guinea. And thankfully, His Excellency the President you don't take a decisive decision on the changing of the ambassador, in the sense that now, of course, we have a very experienced individual in the body of Excellency the Honorable Fode Yumkela, former Minister of Political Affairs and Public and Political Affairs, we it appoints to Guinea. What transpired in Guinea on the 31st of December 2024, a utility vehicle of the embassy, they been get for impound na Guinea as a result of which, in fact, they found in this suspicious substance of cocaine. and there was a driver in it with another person. So the Guinean authorities, consistent with the Vienna Convention, opened the vehicle in the presence and at the invite and presence of the ambassador, then ambassador, and asked if the substances were found. Then immediately what we did was to recall the ambassador for answer to questions on how and why would embassy vehicle registered to the embassy of Sierra Leone was found with this substance. And so that was what we called the ambassador for, and also for institute investigation into the matter. And so, of course, when the president instructed that we recall the ambassador, we did. We sent a letter. But, of course, Guinea, under the circumstances, now a military government, so there are different layers of authority and different layers of um, command, and so it will not be as clear as it is in Sierra Leone in a democracy where there's a functional parliament, there's an elected executive, and so in those circumstances you expect complete adherence to international law and the law then we establish, for example, diplomatic relations, which is the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961. And so the recall went, but the rumor that the ambassador was on house arrest was false.
We will come to that one, Mr. Minister.
Mhm.
But let's take you back before the December 31st incident.
Mhm.
Guinea and Salone issues be done the calm before that, where they be the put Sierra Leonean in a truck for carry them back na Cambia. Also, some standoff been there. And the allegation we been come out from that sending from the Guinean authority them. Now that then Sierra Leonean they had the tap na slum community them na Guinea, where them believe say some illegal drug activities them they go on at this particular side. You've been coming again, also say the foreign minister, your counterpart na Guinea come, una been go na State House, try for get some discussion with them. So with this incident of December 31st, it clearly shows say the Guinean government wetin them they talk but then Sierra Leonean then they na too.
Well, I mean, the evacuation, the removal of many other citizens, it was not only Sierra Leoneans from that particular that particular area in Guinea. I mean, there were Ghanaians, other nationals of West Africa, Liberians, Mauritanians, Gambians, and Senegalese, and all of those. So they went there. Of course, it's a slum where they say they were peddling drugs, gouge, tramadol, and all of those substances, and a lot of crime in that particular area, and the area very close to another gentrified area. So I think the government made the effort of removing those slum dwellers and for re-establish the place as a gentrified community. And it happened for BC, then we get for decide the Guinean authorities then decide say based on the fine relations between Sierra Leone and Guinea, instead of then jail the Sierra Leonean citizens, they made them get the one that we not get placed, let them bring them back to Sierra Leone. But the manner in which that was conducted was not right, and that is the reason why the Guinean foreign minister, the president of Guinea, and therefore envoy in foreign minister, for come to His Excellency as a special envoy for apologize, say yes, they reacted because of the need for poor people in that particular place, but the manner in which it was executed, loaded on truck and conveyed to the border without recourse to the embassy for identification and for other diplomatic engagements. That's why the foreign minister came. The event of 31st December, it's quite different from what the authorities took action for on the days before 31st of December. This is very unfortunate. To drive a country, therefore, with catering for over 8 million people of diverse interests, diverse activities, diverse aspirations, diverse engagement, and what they do. So everywhere in the world, people they engage in crimes and illegal activities. But the ability, for example, for the government for sure say that government is ready to fight, for example, the use of drugs, and it's an unfortunate situation. Even in the country today, our young folks are dying. In Africa, everywhere, the proliferation of dangerous drugs it affects the young generation and every generation, absolutely. So it's a big challenge. And of course, the incident of the 31st, an embarrassing situation, a situation where we don't want for ourselves. But like I said, what we did was to recall the ambassador to question why the embassy vehicle was involved in the incident. It's a strict liability offense. The people who were caught on the act are in the custody of the Guinean authorities. Incidentally, none of the two people then are diplomatic staff. They are local staff employed in Guinea by the embassy. Sorry, the driver, a local staff employed by the embassy, will not get the privileges of diplomatic immunity. But the ambassador covered by the Vienna Convention, that's the reason why we call her. The ambassador was called, but the thing was not found in the ambassador's vehicle. And the ambassador was not subjected to any criminal investigation in Guinea because of the inviolability of the right of the ambassador where they inside the Vienna Convention. So when I went to Guinea, it was more or less to tell the Guinean authorities that because they had requested that, well, according to them, because it's found in the vehicle of the embassy, that's why they call the ambassador. But even by law, neither Guinea nor we nor able to establish whether the ambassador was involved or not. And that's why when the ambassador comes, investigations are being conducted. We have done it at diplomatic level. We question the ambassador. He says he has no involvement in that. And so the people where they investigate will continue to conduct investigation. But the ambassador and I came to Sierra Leone. My being in Guinea under the instruction of the president was to ensure that this thing not affect the fine brotherly relations between the two countries. And I guess we have achieved that in a way that both countries say we will conduct joint investigation into this matter for ensure say we all cut down on transnational organized crime such as the trafficking of drugs.
Before you go take the ambassador, at any point from when this incident happened, if don't they on detention in Guinea?
No, he was not. Every diplomat is protected by the Vienna Convention. You cannot, they put diplomats in a court, they put diplomat in a jail because that convention will establish diplomatic relations, give that inviolability to the ambassador.
Aside the ambassador, where rumor be they go out, where you don't categorically deny say not to true, there is another one we get for do the head of chancery na the embassy na Guinea, where many Sierra Leonean they say it dey under detention na Guinea.
The head of chancery is not under detention. In fact, we had recalled the head of chancery based on the routine rotation of foreign diplomats. Then get tenure within the span. So during the process, this thing happened. So he was immediately called to capital to come and answer because the vehicle in question began as a law under the cover of a note verbal issued by the embassy. And the head of chancery is the administrative head of the embassy. So he is held, I beg your pardon, responsible for issuing, note verbal, what do you call it, laissez-passer to the vehicle in which this substance was found. And I think it's the right thing to do. We come question. You gave note verbal laissez-passer to this vehicle. Are you aware that this laissez-passer will give clearance for this vehicle for go in and come in, and that clearance cover this vehicle and protect it? But why did they find this substance in the vehicle? And we call on to question. And the head of chancery, of course, now that the ambassador is not in the country, by issuing a note verbal, laissez-passer to a vehicle in which a substance was found does not make the HOC culpable. He has not been under any investigation. He's not associated with this thing, but administrative reasons, because we are trying to ensure that nobody impinges on the reputation of this country. We have to take action at every level for make sure say we prevent this.
Other information we made public was that delay been there for the Salon ambassador to Guinea then come back, Ambassador Bangura come back Salon because the Guinean authorities then but they give stiff resistance and the while stand trial yanda and not the one for make a can we make up till now people still get a big question mark whether not to say the ambassador the tongue. At any point there where resistance been there for release and for come?
Well, look, first and foremost, as a diplomat, no law nor give whether it is whatever sort of governance in a country. as long as you accept exchanges in diplomatic representation, that the exchange in diplomatic representation is covered by the Vienna Convention, where they protect every diplomat. Of course, the Guineans, where it happened, because it's a very serious crime. It's a grave crime. It's a transnational organized crime. So, of course, because the ambassador and head of mission, and the thing was found in the vehicle, the Guineans wanted cooperation in the investigation, but that cooperation preclude it, not involve standing in trial because a diplomat cannot under the Vienna Convention. So they wanted to somehow make the ambassador go able to help them in the investigation. But we said, okay, you know what? This is our ambassador. If anything, there's the United Nations Convention on Transnational Organized Crime of 2000, wherein we can do joint investigation because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a jury for who put the ambassador on the trial. The ambassador could be better investigated in Sierra Leone here, where for example, under these circumstances, is no longer a diplomat. It does not have the immunity. We are jointly investigating with him. But like I said, under the circumstances in which the ambassador within Guinea, the ambassador was not found culpable. Culpable because the thing was not found in the diplomatic vehicle of the ambassador. Ambassador was not in the vehicle, and the crime committed is a strict liability offense, which means those who then caught in the act, not the people who were responsible for the thing. But because the vehicle is associated with the embassy, the ambassador is under investigation.
You say
the erstwhile ambassador.
You say the driver na a local staff. Women say no get no diplomatic.
No, it's not covered by
yes. Then also somebody else been there with the driver and the vehicle who then catch them substance there. Woman that na is Sierra Leonean by the name called Fresh.
The report not talk about an alias. The report where we get from the Guinean authorities and say there was another occupant we named Alphaba, and I don't know whether he's fresh or not. I don't know the alias, and because it's a transnational organized crime, I don't get access to any of them. I'm not Minister of Justice. I did not go there to look at those that are not, diplomatic staff. In this case, I went there for the diplomat, and like I said, because it's a strict liability offense, the law of Guinea, they deal with the people that were not all inside.
So this Alphaba and the driver, the Guinean authority, and they tried them.
Those people are under Guinean custody and investigation.
Before you go na Guinea for go bring the then ambassador, immediately this incident happened, you recall the ambassador for come back home. You don't recall him, but you not be able for come until you go. Waiting a be the challenge for letting one not come as you go as a foreign minister, go meet to the president of Guinea when I've been signed MOU before they release it to you.
Well, we were to sign MOU based on the United Nations Convention on Transnational Organized Crime for joint judicial investigation. At the end of the day, we did not sign the MOU because I made it very clear to the Guineans that you cannot ask us to institute an investigation on the ambassador when no court has established that the ambassador was involved, neither was the thing caught in the vehicle of the ambassador. It's a serious crime. And for redeem the reputation of Sierra Leone, and we told them, without prejudice to the crime committed, the Vienna Convention, they asked for protect the ambassador because we wanted a safe passage to Sierra Leone for make the ambassador who come, they will ask him at your own level, why this happened. And so we at the foreign ministry says he has no idea, he wasn't involved, and the rest of the investigation is in the hands of those who investigate such crimes. But of course, the challenge was, like I said, our governance systems are different, and so when a grave incident like that happens, sometimes people can react, say, no, we cannot take this. But you cannot circumvent the law because of emotions and the reality of the magnitude of the crime. So what he maybe get for remind them was that the Vienna Convention provides that inviolability for the ambassador, and that the government of Sierra Leone is responsible enough for institute investigation because this they impinge on the good reputation of our country. And that is why we were able to negotiate that look, we have to understand this without prejudice to the crime. There is a law that establishes our diplomatic relations.
So throughout that period, after we Salon government, they don't say come back. Where you know being calm before you they go there now and finally you say you bring and calm. Throughout that period, Usai Ambassador Bangura Bindi.
Ambassador Bangura Bindi na in host. In the common I host can work every day. When I go Guinea, whilst I did day in my engagement, I retired to the embassy where I hold my meetings, do my write-up, do my letters, my note verbals, engage the Guineans. The foreign minister of Guinea was himself on 2-3 occasions come to the embassy with the Sidona Ambassador Bangura in office. We discuss and we find ways. See, in Guinea, not only the foreign ministry was involved. The foreign ministry was a conduit because of the diplomatic relations. The Ministry of Justice, the Gendarmerie Nationale, and the other security authorities were involved in this. So forget to all of these people for make them understand, say, we are a democracy, that the establishment of a diplomatic relations is actually anchored on international convention and the Vienna Convention. So now that's a francophone country, it's a different country. So you therefore move around and do diplomatic meandering, maneuvering for ensure, say, we keep the health, status, and sanity of a diplomatic relation.
During all the negotiation there we go to Guinea, genuinely, at any point, the Guinean authority and they ask you for remove the then ambassador and diplomatic tag them?
Of course, the Ministry of Justice had requested through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Guinea, say, made a request to Leon for remove the diplomatic immunities of the ambassador, so then we'll get chance for investigate the matter for that. No, we cannot. We could not. We could not because under the circumstances as a diplomat, and there's no precedent in the world where a country will send a diplomat to go overseas, then you remove diplomatic immunities for now, for making subject to the laws of investigation of another country when it was not proven that the substance was found in the ambassador's vehicle or with the ambassador. You see, the ambassador's associative culpability here, I would choose to say, that because he's ambassador and the vehicle and the thing was found in an embassy vehicle, but that not make the ambassador guilty. And that is why investigations are ongoing to establish whether the ambassador was part of the erstwhile ambassador was part of it or not.
So now that you don't confirm, say, the Guinean authority with the request they take away diplomatic immunity, then yesterday President Bio don't sack him, don't replace her with somebody else. Waiting in chances. Although you say they now na salon,
chances of
where
what?
this many Sierra Leonean the question if really you been carry the ambassador na salon.
I have no reason to. Yes, of course, I brought the ambassador to Sierra Leone, brought him, he came to the office, we investigated, we asked him why, and he said he was not associated with it, and the rest is with the authorities that are responsible for the investigation of crimes. And so we enroll, and President Bio, of course, the action of President Bio should say whether or not the ambassador is guilty, there is always going to be consequence. There are always going to be consequences for anything where they impinge on the reputation of the country. And for the embassy in vehicle, the person that the government will take action against is the head of mission. And the president has gracefully appointed a very seasoned diplomat because under those circumstances, don't forget, we all over the world, even in the communities, when somebody is accused, in public opinion already, the person is as guilty as charged, but there's a law aspect where they establish whether it is true or not. So the president's action, for sure, say, is very determined to fight transnational organized crime, such as drug trafficking.
So does that mean the authorities in Guinea can now try Ambassador Bangura because they don't replace her now. It's clear say it's no longer the ambassador to Guinea on behalf of Sierra Leone. So Guinea can go ahead now and stand in trial day or now this investigation we they do
well, of course, we do a joint investigation. At the end of the day, we get for the exchange information with the Guinean authorities. They were very willing to let the ambassador come under the Vienna Convention, and the ambassador is now here. It's no longer the ambassador of Sierra Leone to Guinea. It's been investigated. There's no diplomatic immunity in this case, and it's up to the people who are investigating here and what in England for do with the Guinean authorities. But that is no longer under the purview of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Interestingly, Mr. Minister, one thing we make so many people, if you ask the public now, they open phone lines and then go tell you, say they don't believe, say the ambassador don't come, because there is no sign of him anywhere. Not when on be left Guinea, not when on arrive Sierra Leone, not when on meet with him for question. No pictures, no video. We're very unusual. Waiting up.
Not unusual. I did not go to Guinea on a victory tour. I went to Guinea to ask the authorities, remind them of the convention we established with diplomatic relations. I cannot be coming with that ambassador under the circumstances and for go say, let me have a press release, I'm bringing the ambassador. I went on a victorious tour. No, I did not go on a victorious tour. I went there to ensure that while the crime is grievous and it's been investigated, we keep intact the reputation of the country and keep the fineness of the relations between Guinea and Sierra Leone.
So as serious as you did describe the crime way that they investigate them for, currently, is they on detention as Salon or is they as a free man? Then they go when they need them.
Well, like I said, when we came, we did our own path as Ministry of Foreign Affairs because he was working for the ministry when the thing happened. After that, the authorities that are responsible for investigating such crimes, then they investigate the crime.
All right, now let's move at the level for you sitting as a foreign minister. One of your major mandates and for strengthening bilateral relationship them with other countries. And from December to now, few incidents don't happen where a lot of people get this opinion say now a test to that process they will they go through as a minister of foreign affairs. Apart from this Guinea incident where you don't explain extensively, we don't see again was I a foreign journalist come na salon, police be arrest them, interrogate them because the journalists they say they be there on a mission where you know get accreditation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. All of the issues then they all get for do with the honorary consul of Sierra Leone to Canada will say resignation letter again. They pass na the social media. You sitting as a foreign minister, you agree say this like test to your work?
Well, it's just part of my daily job. I mean, it's not anything extraordinary. It's part of the job. And let me speak to the honorary consul. We said honorary consul will resign, and I mean the pretext, that very person came across as a saboteur. The role of an honorary consul and not to interfere into the internal affairs of the country. We accredit you for represent the country. As a matter of fact, it was so unfortunate. But I mean, every person gets his own views, and he tendered his resignation, and which we've accepted. And if you, I will leave that to the Justice Ministry, whatever is going on behind the scene. The reason he stated that he resigned, to start with, this was not even a functional honorary consul, unfortunately, and to have used this situation to resign, it's happy because for me because we had actually we're working on replacing some of these honorary consuls that have been appointed 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Where's not be functional? What do you mean?
Well, when you appoint a honorary consul, it's for him to promote and protect the interests of the country, provide services and support for our citizens where they live now, that given country. Under the circumstances, this now one of the honorary consuls where we don't come across it. He had been appointed for several years, and at some point in time, he actually stopped performing that consulate functions to Sierra Leoneans. But I don't want to sort of make this as if it is not relevant. I mean, it's concerning that your representation would say, okay, I'm done representing you. And we've accepted it, and definitely. But I mean, these things happen. But moving away from that, with everything where they happen as well, don't forget, many other good things are happening behind the scenes. For example,
but the bad one then don't seem for the overshadow the good one. Then,
No,
for example,
they are not.
we all see Sophie after the release. I go back in country. He make a tweet talking about Sierra Leone and all of them things then
Well,
they
let me
with
like,
a government way so passionate
Mhm.
for rebrand the image.
I was not in the country. I don't know the circumstances under which the journalist was arrested. But yes, I got a call from the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands who told me, in fact, at that make I even know say there was a journalist in Sierra Leone where there made a question in activity. I haven't gone into the details of what transpired, but when it happened immediately, I called the authorities and I called the Minister of Information, and they said, no, everything had been resolved and that the journalist was about to go. They were questioning on journalist, of course, was given clearance. I was told by the Minister of Information. But whatever went wrong, I don't know. But when I got the call, I called the authorities and said, what is happening? And the authorities said, we were conducting certain investigation, but this thing is over. The journalist is leaving. But look, you see, what has happened, like you spoke about the bad things happening versus the good things. We live in a rather well informed, and I would dare to say sometimes misinformed and disinformed society, where we only focus on the minute dots the way they buy a white piece of cloth rather than focusing on the entire piece of cloth that is white. I would tell you categorically that we are right now, regardless the size of our economy or the size of a country, a very important country in the world today. Take, for example, the UN Security Council. We all see this past weekend, we were under a lot of, how do you call it, negotiation, engagement with world leaders. I, for example, I received over 6 calls from foreign ministers in the European Union, from the Assistant Secretary of State of the United States, and different of the partners, international partners, on resolutions that we're going to go, for example, in the Security Council and the General Assembly on the peace matter of Ukraine. We were quite engaged in that. Sierra Leone is an important country that is engaged on the conflict in Sudan, on the conflict in Congo DRC, on Gaza, on Ukraine. These are roles we're playing on behalf of the people of this country for promote international peace and security. These are things we should celebrate. A small country with less than 25 years ago was a menu on the UN Security Council. We were a case of discussion in the Security Council. Today, because of what President Biodo achieved, taking Sierra Leone to the Security Council with the attendant respect our country get, I want for there tell you, say, today our reputation is in a better status
Amidst
than
all
it used to be.
the cocaine scandal.
Cocaine scandal, you say it's a scandal. It's a scandal in the sea of other things what they do. It's unfortunate. I don't take drugs. I am scared of drugs. I don't want drugs to be in our communities. I don't want drugs to be in our country where they destroy the future of picking them, where they destroy homes and families. Yes, it is so sad. It's unfortunate. And I believe the government, through the instruction of the president, they take measures for ensure, say, we put a stop or we try to minimize the impact or the trafficking of drugs through the country. But amidst all of these little scandals here and there, or these scandals, Sierra Leone is doing well internationally, that we all must be proud of our country and be proud of our president.
And as people and they be proud of wetin you dey make mention of the good things, and one reason wey make plenty people can concern
Absolutely.
where any scandal can come up and want to know how government they handle them for ensure say the reputation of the country is high up there
That's
and it be
correct.
maintained.
Mhm.
At this stage, since the Dutch government dey request for Omar Sharif, wetin not be the response of the Sierra Leone government to them?
Well, the government of Sierra Leone, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, received a request, and it was passed on to the Minister of Justice. And the Minister of Justice now they engage the authorities in the Netherlands reviewing the document and the request that was made, and government will take appropriate necessary action. And we are in constant engagement. I am in engagement with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands. And look, as an individual and the president way in leadership we dey follow, everybody will feel ashamed if your country they come across some of these scandals. It is not in our delight. It's not delightful to us, and so we dey make every effort for make sure say these other occurrences, nor they overshadow the good things what our country they do in the world today, and even the good things where they happen in our country. It is in our collective interest for ensure say we sanitize the image of our country. It's a continuous process and make sure say the country become attractive for investment, because it is only when investment can our country, economic opportunities will be there for the Sierra Leoneans and for all
So
of
as
us.
for the talk currently, Omar Sharif still the salon, because why they ask you as the foreign affairs minister, because we know say now the communication that established between the two countries, we interested in Omar Sharif, the Dutch the aspirant they know say it is salon, and we know say it be the salon. Currently, is it still here?
I have no idea. That doesn't fall under my purview. And as it implies, I'm Minister of Foreign Affairs. I deal with activities for promoting a name out there. Now that the documents have come, they have been processed by the Ministry of Justice, and the government will take necessary action. But I have no idea. I don't know the person you're talking about, and the government, like I said, Minister of Foreign Affairs was in receipt of this request, which is being passed on to the Ministry of Justice. We're collaboratively going to work. I wasn't in the country. I came in this week, and I believe, say, we have a competent Attorney General and the law office. Everybody will look into this, and the right thing will be done.
As the process they on, you say on in communication with them. The salon government willing for let Omar Sharif go as requested?
Well, I don't know what is contained, in fact, in the request. Like I said, it was meant for the Ministry of Justice. It's been conveyed. I have come, and we're going to engage. And whatever under international law that Sierra Leone has to do, I think Sierra Leone will do that, because the president is someone that prides himself in doing the right thing under the law, both national and international.
UN President Bill just come out at the AU summit na Ethiopia Addis Ababa. So na go represent the country. Usai other African leader them been there. What are some of the things them where UN His Excellency the President bring come back home?
Well, you see, every year there is the summit of the heads of state and government of the African Union, where government, the heads of state, then where they get different responsibilities in the AU for promote African unity, African development, African process, and African peace and security. So at this 38th session, it started with the ambassadors' engagement, different discussions and different mandates, and then it came to the ministerial council. We, the ministers of foreign affairs, we get different. Particularly this year, the entire African Union was actually largely election year for elect different commissioners to the different commissions of the African Union, and also the very leadership of the African Union Commission, when are the chairman or the president of the African Union Commission. So that might be the highlight, of course, the overarching, giving of that particular summit, the 38th Summit of Heads of State and Government of the African Union. Musai, the present foreign minister of Djibouti, was overwhelmingly elected as the incoming chair of the African Union Commission with a deputy. So this was the highlight of the summit. But besides that, I told you Sierra Leone is a member of the African Union Peace and Security Council. So His Excellency the President was invited to the council to discuss Sudan and DRC, where I represented the President amongst other heads of state then to discuss the situation in the DRC and in Sudan. That was a successful meeting. We also had the President holding on the margins of the 38th session of the heads of state and government, a head of state meeting on the committee of 10 heads of state and government on the reform of the UN Security Council, bearing in mind that in August last year, when Sierra Leone been getting presidency of the UN Security Council, His Excellency the President been therefore conduct a high-level debate on the reform of the UN Security Council, a mandate where Sierra Leone gets as Sierra Leone as a coordinator for Ghana's support for what we call the Common African Position for the reform of the UN Security Council. So after that debate, we see say the world responded to the debate of the president for address the historical injustice where they not meet out to Africa since the formation of the UN, the absence of Africa in the permanent category of the UN Security Council, and the underrepresentation of Africa in the non-permanent category. So me, as the chair of the Council of Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the 10 countries that are responsible for the promotion and the promotion and review of the Common African Position for Africa's involvement in the permanent category. After we get that executive meeting, we came up with a document where we represent the activities of this reform in what we call intergovernmental negotiation group in the UN, following the 78th and the 79th sessions of the General Assembly. We adopt that document and pass it on to the head of state, the coordinator, who is President Bio. We can forget all the heads of state then from then different countries, Zambia, Libya, Uganda, Equatorial Guinea, Senegal, and all of the other countries, Namibia. President Minga forget a head of state meeting, heads of state meeting, where we adopt the document of President Bio being finally present to the committee, to the summit, to the heads of state of Africa, where we get a resounding, if you like, recognition for the work with Sierra Leone they do with President Bio, the champion for the reform of the UN Security Council. That was a big success, and the president really don't invigorate this call for the reform. Sierra Leone didn't get this mandate from 2005 when they come up with the Common African Position. But the reform process did not become very much sluggish because of we and the other members who were not too interested in the call for the reform of the council. But today, because of the realities of the world, it is very imperative right now for the council to be reformed, for reflect the new realities in the world, and for also address that historical injustice meted to Africa as a result of our absence in the permanent category. So President Bio don't push this thing. It don't give us so much life to the extent that even we, Sierra Leone, where they coordinate the activities of this C10 right now, we get BB countries that where they jealous we, where one fet we follow lost this coordinatorship because of the success that is already at the horizon, necessitated by the president and actually pushed by President Bio in vision and in tenacity and vision for ensure, say, international institutions are reformed, especially the Security Council.
From all the activity that will happen at the AU summit, so not just come away don't unpack. So you move go again at Qatar before you come back. Also, you go commission an embassy. How this embassy now will officially in Qatar go bring the party business between the two countries, then go continue for get more strength.
You see, the establishment of embassies, one nice statement that you value the relations we get with the other country. And today diplomatic relations is mostly transactional, and where a country engages another country for a common interest of development, common security, common prosperity. To have an embassy in Qatar is very important. Qatar is a very important country in the world today, a country worthy for emulate, a country where 50 years ago it was a mere desert with desert dwellers, Bedouins. This country don't try in the course of not more than 4 decades. It don't become a country where they even push now for bring about ceasefire in Gaza amongst all other challenges. A small country, the country that's got its act in order, they play a role. We see what happened back in Saudi Arabia. The Saudis have also got their act together. Today, Saudi Arabia, they be a venue for peace talk between Ukraine and between Russia and the US on the Ukraine matter. The Middle East, many of these countries in the Gulf have got their act right, and they are ready to invest in Africa, and we are looking for those opportunities for people there. So the establishment of an embassy in Qatar, it's the right thing, right decision in the right direction, where we believe say will open new opportunities and relations between Sierra Leone and Qatar.
Right, a lot of messages that don't come in, and from all what we don't discuss since you joined me at the studio, let me just read the message them we will be able to read because of time, and you go respond to them before we wrap up this edition of the breakfast show. Well, the very first message we had to take now the text line. This person asks, say, Mr. Minister, what would you say about one of your diplomats who is being linked with the European most wanted drug lord, Agnes? She is said to be representing Sierra Leone in the Security Council.
This one from Lamin Sisena Facebook, they say, even though I'm not convinced with most of what have said this morning, I actually like you as an individual. Timothy, you are indeed brilliant.
This other message say, what is the positivity happening in Sierra Leone as a nation? Government has not government has not done any external accomplishments, but to move our nation forward.
Abubakar Rashid, they say, Mr. Minister, this time to give us the correct information about the ambassador to Guinea and deputy. We know the ambassador has problem with the Guinean authority, but we heard about the deputy. Can you throw light on this?
This other message where they come out from Jibril Adumbuya na the YouTube channel, they say the ambassador na mumu. Why is he not talking for himself?
Kamara Jibrila, they say, Mr. Minister, honestly and sincerely, is the image of our country good in the eyes of the world in recent times, with records on drugs trafficking and good governance, human rights, freedom of speech, etc.?
This other message from Ronald Georgeson at the YouTube. They say in other nations, a foreign minister is accompanied by a journalist when going on a trip, especially this one. But again, we are talking of Sierra Leone.
Sidi Bangura, they say Minister Alhaji Timothy Kabba is exceptional. He has succeeded in strengthening bilateral relations and enhancing foreign diplomacy. Under his leadership, Sierra Leone has successfully connected with numerous countries, establishing new embassies and fostering valuable partnerships. This is the type of leadership Sierra Leonean praying for. Team talk less and do more. Continue to do more good work. Your dedication to our nation's global presence is truly commendable.
This other message from Samuel Thorley is say our Holmes was in the CID cell, but they recorded her and posted it on social media. If they had got Ambassador Bangra in their hands, they should have posted this picture on social media.
Usfen Kamara, they say, Mr. Minister, sir, our international relations seem to be experiencing an unprecedented state of diplomatic tests and challenges lately. How are you going to navigate the diplomatic balance in a bid to avoid a diplomatic meltdown of our nation? Is the diplomacy of commonality employed instead of the diplomacy of differences in our international stage?
This other message say by sacking the ambassador, Una already done admit say Sierra Leone guilty and the removal of his immunity.
All right, many messages we don't come. This one from Felawa Koduho. They say one of the most respected ministers I have honored before, but honestly not anymore. I'm highly disappointed with Alhaji Kabba. Why are all the officials not willing to say small amount of truth to power?
All right, this other message they come out from Legendary again. They say if the ambassador this salon, Una show you the video.
Lolo Gasparini, they say Timothy Kabba is one of the most matured ministers in this bill-led government.
This other message say the ambassador is still in Guinea. Otherwise, you guys should have shown us evidence in the public.
Maybe the message too much.
Many
Well, just
messages
take
this
few.
morning.
This one they say, please ask the minister who was the other person in the vehicle with the driver. They have called the driver but have not given the details of the other person in the Guinea vehicle on allegations of drugs.
And this other message from Suleiman Kamara, they say, please, Mabel or Khadija, ask the minister why up until now we haven't seen any pictorial evidence of the former ambassador. If really he is here, we are curious because we know this government for social media.
All right, Tamadu Bari, where go be my final message. Say Timothy is very matured and well grounded on the issues.
This final one, we myself go read because of time. Jibrila Bangra say, Mr. Minister, how confident are you that Ambassador Almami is currently in Freetown? Additionally, what's the rationale for establishing such a large number of embassies worldwide?
All right. Well, we apologize if we're not able to read your message because of time. That's the messages that we come for you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank the texters and those who sent their comments. Let me start with the positivity of the reputation out there. Like I said, the incidents then they everywhere in the world, but the role and respectability of Sierra Leone outside in the international world is really, really excellent. Otherwise, as Minister of Foreign Affairs, um, I will be coming home always almost frowned. But anytime we engage our partners and the role we are playing, especially in the UN Security Council, for example, with our bilateral partners. I mean, to even be able to establish an embassy in another country, it shows say it shows the level of trust and level of respect countries get for we. We don't open new embassy in, for example, in Ireland. It's very important. The strategic nature of that embassy is the fact that we get a fine relationship with Ireland to the extent that Ireland has an embassy in Sierra Leone. Ireland is one of perhaps the only English-speaking country in the EU, and we see say we don't reopen with embassy since it was closed down in 1983 in France. France is one of the permanent members of the UN Security Council and one of the developed countries in the world. We get embassy now. All the other four permanent members in the UN Security Council, and also we don't open our France. We show the depth of the relationship we'll get with France, and we also don't get in Algeria and the Horn of Africa. So the rationale of embassies, one, it's an expression of the fine relations that exist between two countries, and also embassies that promote the interests of our country overseas and protect citizens and bring opportunities for our country. So there is importance in establishing embassies for representation. We see so where Sierra Leoneans indeed in the struggle that the world will not get embassy, it also becomes a matter of concern. And the other person say, for example, why the ambassador will not show picture of the ambassador. The ambassador is not an artifact of interest. He's a person. Of course, I brought the ambassador. If anybody gets proof otherwise, for sure, say the ambassador is in Guinea, let them produce the proof. Is
Just
the,
not say he's here.
the ambassador is not an object of a circus. The ambassador is an individual that came to Sierra Leone on the invite of government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for investigate on the matter, right? When Mrs. F come, I'm not a person on the investigation. Somebody misses me, Zamotokawa, they come. No, I am.
Then ambassador drive at the same motorcar.
Well, the ambassador came in his diplomatic vehicle, and I came in the vehicle assigned to me by the government of Sierra Leone.
But at the
As
same
Minister of
time.
Foreign- Yeah, we came together. I brought the ambassador to Sierra
So
Leone.
you didn't us now.
I don't know Side, but the
Who saw
ambassador
you
is in
hand
Sierra
them
Leone.
over, Mr. Minister?
The ambassador was not. Ambassador is not a criminal, as far as I know.
No, but the narrative out there.
Also, for me, don't bring the ambassador.
No, the narrative out there na that you go Guinea for go get diplomatic negotiations.
Yes.
For let them release the then ambassador to you. And according to the Minister of Information, by
Yes.
then at the press briefing,
Yes.
he say you currently there on the way they bring them.
Yes, and I came with the ambassador. I got to Freetown. In fact, let me tell you what happened. When I came to Freetown with the ambassador, that very day, I just go take my bag now, went to Lunge, and went to the African Union
So
Summit
also you left the ambassador.
in Sierra Leone.
Right.
The ambassador is a citizen of Cambia district. So when I come, the ambassador left na Cambia district first. Me go straight na Freetown. I come straight Freetown and go. The ambassador then, when the ambassador was invited, me deputy, I get a deputy even if I'm not in a country. But we get order. The director general and everybody spoke to the ambassador, and then of course the ambassador was handed over to the chief diplomat. And I believe the ambassador is under investigation right now because the authorities are so doing. But me own role for go bring the ambassador. If anybody has a question or doubts that, let them go to Guinea or go ask the Guinean authorities. Now, not in they hide. Let them do investigation. The ambassador is in Sierra Leone. At the time I brought the ambassador, I brought him to Sierra Leone, and there's no question about that. So I don't want us to ponder over something. The coming of the ambassador is not the important thing. The important thing is to investigate the crime and
And you
ensure.
can't investigate the crime without the person where you dey investigate.
So
Wey
you,
make
so you
people
said that the studio
don
not
dey
believe.
ask.
You said that the studio not believe.
I'm not doubting what you're
Timothy Kabasi
saying.
are not bringing ambassador
That
Bangura.
the fact say it's very unusual for Lelen kind here happen. Nothing of another on the social media. Nothing of another for like pictorial evidence for sure saying this is true, and we are investigating as serious as this matter is.
Maybe I did not go to Guinea to bring the ambassador for photo shooting. It's a serious crime that was committed. I went to Guinea to make the ambassador come and answer to what the crime is alleged. The ambassador was brought by me. The ambassador, we don't do what we get for doing a foreign ministry. The ambassador is now under investigation by the authorities responsible.
And you know if they detain her or not?
No, I am engaged in other activities. As far as we're concerned, we are trying to promote the interests of this country and also for fight against crimes such as drug trafficking.
Somebody they asked for one of the diplomats in the Security Council, Agnes, with the situation we get for do with Omar Sharif.
I have no idea whatsoever it is with a given Omar Sharif. Agnes is working as an intern. In fact, Agnes is an intern in the Security Council helping us. What is wrong if somebody gets qualification for work and not that Agnes is in fact being paid money from the government of Sierra Leone? This is a young lady where by virtue of her education, one for improve on the experience, and of course we give them the opportunity for intern with the embassy, not being paid from the consulate.
So not any official position. Like,
It's no.
Like how the public information that you
Listen,
get work.
what crime has she
An
committed?
appointment again.
What crime has she committed for working in the embassy of Sierra Leone as an intern or a participant in the Security Council? What crime has she committed? And what crime have I established that he commits? So you see, while we try for ensure that we promote the interests of our country, national cohesion and unity, they will be careful for making not draw things that are not important to the daily life of a country.
All right. Many thanks, Mr. Minister. We joined with this morning.
Thank you.
It'll be a pleasure for hosting us. So after so many international engagements, we just come on and also now can update the public, but all of the rumors we get for you, the then ambassador. Many thanks to you, sir, for the watch me. We apologize if we're not able to read your message because the message can be so much, but because of time, we'll be need for read few and allow the minister for respond. Princess Pierce time produced the program, Musa Saukoma, and then his camera, Nadena the technician there. Mina Khadija Bangwa, they say have a blessed day.
All right, until we meet again, Mabel Kabba say that's a good
Mr.
day.
Balaji Kabale say blessings.
And goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
So you don't would you off? People